Good morning, guys. Welcome to this Friday, June 12th, and it is a SpaceX IPO Friday. That's what it is. All eyes on SpaceX. The news this morning is pretty anemic. We only had consumer sentiment at 10, so not a lot of news coming out. We have rolled to the September expiration, so you see my charts are on U26. So far, volume looks a little bit timid, but it's hopefully it's going to start rolling over. But everything has rolled over, and that's what we're trading for today. Looking at our charts, we had a nice little gap up though. So we closed here at the 7400s or so. The U expiration are trading a little bit higher at 7500. So it's a little gap up, but that's just a rollover. It's not really the market taking it higher. But the June expiration or the September expiration is trading a little bit higher. So there we have it. So I would just start off cautiously today to figure out what direction this is going to go. And given the news we have in a SpaceX IPO, I think specifically the Iranian news, that doesn't just fall apart on us. We are definitely it's going to stay on the long side of this. Look to buy weakness, but I would do that with a little bit of caution today. I mean, yeah, we are trading a bit higher due to a rollover. But before we see really what they want to do here, if they want to close this gap down here towards the prior expiration, or they're going to just stay keep trading this higher, anyone's guess. So I would just trade with a bit of caution. I would start off range bound. I would favor it alongside, but I would be very mindful that we may see a rotation down here to close this gap down here towards that 7400. That would be pretty good weakness, to be honest with you. But early on, looking to buy weakness against that 74.75, the 60s, the 40s here for rotations up, the 30s down to the 15s, and even down into the 7400s. All these levels, potential buying opportunities. And I would normally switch it to the short side a little bit faster, but it's a gap up, kind of a rollover. So we could definitely be just in the mode of closing a gap here. Sometimes you don't even get that. Sometimes they just keep going. So we'll see if they which side they're going to go take this on. But right now, I would just trade it range bound, favor it alongside, and then let's see how where they're likely to go here. And also how crazy it's going to get on the Nasdaq. Nasdaq could be a little bit interesting here during the first part of trading here. The ES seems that was the ES. So looking to buy against the levels, the initial levels I would look to buy against is these guys, the 74, 75s, the 60s down to the 40s and 30s and 20s. It could be something earlier on here, but I will not be super aggressive on that. On the Nasdaq, we are pretty much in the same spot. A gap up on the rollover. We are trading higher. We are trading up here, up against both these key areas of resistance. So yeah, now technically we cleared those and we are ready to trade higher. But again, we are in a gap up rollover, so I would be trading this the same exact way. Range bound, I would favor it alongside given yesterday's news and so on and so forth. I look to buy weakness. Be mindful. If you start getting a pretty good gap down, that could very well be as the gap close of this gap down here to that 440s. So that's a chunk on the downside. So initially on the Nasdaq, I would look to buy against the 820s, the 750s, 660s, 620s down to the 550s, and if I scroll this one up a little bit, down to that 430s here. So here's your close of yesterday. Nice little rally here up into the close, but that was a news related rally. And if nothing really changes and they still keep talking about it, I mean, I'm already hearing like, yeah, no, we didn't agree to that. The usual. But we'll see. This is going to be very telling now that if they play games, they'll just go back and keep on with them until they submit, I guess. So right now, looking to buy against that 820s, 750s, 670s, 660 to 70s, 620s, 540s, down to the 450s for rotations up. And on the way up, I'm not going to be very aggressive on the way up. The selling strength. Hard to, you're not sure if they're gonna keep going higher. You don't want to be stepping in front of it too aggressively. If they start pulling back, well, then I would potentially try that short trade between levels on the way down if they're pulling back and it looks like it's a gap closure kind of a dynamic going on. And other than that, I would look to buy against these support areas as they get there. But as you say, I mean, as there is opportunities for short trades as you take out these support areas on the way down, if that is what's happening. So I think every time you roll over like this, you have to just be a little bit cautious to figure out what the market is trying to do. If there's continuation from yesterday in terms of momentum, then the chances are we're going to be taking this higher. We're going to be trending higher today. So that's kind of where we are. It's going to probably not trade a whole lot in the morning, waiting for the volume to roll over. See how that works out. Bond market definitely tradable. And they've been moving a little bit. They moved pretty good yesterday, and so far today they haven't really moved a whole lot. So I would say that we are right now seeing some weakness, backing off a little bit from the highs, but they haven't been up here at 113. And we'll see. I would look to buy against these support areas, the 13 or the 12, 18s, the 14s, the 08s for rotations up. Well, probably all the way down here to the 112s for rotations up. But I mean, we'll see how far they want to retrace it. And on the way up, looking for shorts against the 12, 26s and the 113s for rotations back down. There's a nice retest failure in the overnight here. So when it moves like this, a little bit of movement like this, and then a retest, that's good, probably good for a potential short. When it just sits there and twists in the wind like that, that's just not the same kind of a setup. So you want a little bit of movement and a stall like that for a good retest failure to set up. Right now we're back down in that lower area, so this could be another probably buying opportunity. But again, early on in the trading day, not going to be super aggressive on it. You're going to wait for a little bit more data to come in. All right, but on the cryptos, the kind of wild action on. I said some really wild action on gold here. This is the July 20. Yeah, it's a July expiration. Look at that crazy shit. What's happening as they reopen? Crazy stuff. And the silver, I had a little bit more volume. Not a lot of volume on that gold contract. Silver contract, that same time frame. Yeah, I didn't do the same kind of crazy stuff. I don't know what that was. And crazy action on that one, for sure. All right, so not much to say about the cryptos here to get started. Kind of watching those, trading those, scalping those in a kind of tight range. With the ES and Nasdaq, we roll to the September expiration. That's traded as such. Wait for a little bit of volume to roll in, and give it some room to see what they're trying to do. But I would favor the long side to get started, given what happened yesterday, and then let's see how far they want to take it. So, alrighty, guys, we'll leave it there. I'll see you back at 11:30 this Friday, June 12th. And there's no news at 8:30, so 10 o'clock is the only news we get. So we'll take it from there. Alrighty, guys, leave it there. See you back at 11:30 for the next update. Later.